Hey everyone, it is Mrs. Peters, and I'm here to read chapter 19, and I'm actually going to split it into two parts because it's kind of long. And I'm sitting in a bedroom of my house, and I'm by my keyboard. And I wanted to show it to you because I heard that Mrs. Uribe has a Flipgrid on her site, her music site, and that you can perform something and record it and upload it. And so I am kind of challenged to do that. So I'm going to have to find some time to practice because I want to be able to play a song without any mistakes before I share it. And I just thought, I know there's at least a couple of people. I think both Elizabeth and Soraya and maybe others play the piano or a musical instrument. And I want to challenge you to consider doing the same thing. Okay? Okay, so we are going to read at least, or just part of chapter 19, and it ends when chapter 18 ended. Poppy had just arrived in the beaver lodge, and she's beside Rye, and she had just called out softly to him. Rye lifted his sleepy head and peered through the dark. It was by the light of a glowing firefly that he saw Poppy's face. Astonished, he squinted, unsure if what he was seeing was a dream or real. But when Poppy said, "Oh, Rye, how glad I am to see you," he knew she was the most real creature he had ever seen. Poppy and Rye gazed at one another by the light of the firefly flashes. He was quite sure he was looking at the most beautiful whiskers and pink nose he had ever seen upon any mouse with whom he was acquainted. Poppy was sure Rye's face, covered as it was with delicate orange fur, was extraordinarily noble. What's more, he had altogether splendid ears, and the small notch in the right ear only added character. "What," Rye said in a choked whisper, "are you doing here?" "I came to see if you were all right." "But why?" Because you dance beautifully," Poppy replied, though it made her whiskers tremble to say it. "Thank you. And you dance as if there were moonbeams in your toes." "And Rye?" "What?" "I did love Ragweed," Poppy said. "I'll never pretend I didn't, but he's gone." Rye hung his head. "I know. And Rye, you need to know, I never danced with him." Rye looked up. His whiskers shook. "Poppy, you are the most kind, the most unselfish of mice," he whispered. "In fact, you are altogether splendid." For a moment, neither spoke. Then Poppy said, "Rye, why did you come here?" "I wanted to do something about the beavers, to get rid of them, somehow. Except I didn't have a plan. The truth is, Poppy, I wanted to prove myself to you. They caught me before I could do anything." "Mr. Candid told me that you were being held captive," Poppy said. "He said that if your family didn't move, he would keep you forever." "Forever?" Rye repeated dramatically. "But Poppy, it will have been worth it." "Why?" "Because you came." "But don't you want to get out?" Poppy asked. "Well, I'd like to, but I think I've made things much worse." Poppy reached her paw through the bars and touched Rye's shoulder. "That you even tried seems brave to me." "Do you truly think so?" "Yes. Just maybe, well, too bold." Rye took hold of Poppy's paw, which was resting on his shoulder, and kissed it. "What you said means more than a life's supply of sunflower seeds," he murmured. They looked at one another. Then Rye said, "How did you get in here?" "There's a hole in the roof. I crawled down a vine." "You are amazing," he said. Poppy blushed with pleasure. Rye became alarmed. "But how are you going to get out?" he asked. Poppy was about to say, "The same way," but even as she had the thought, she realized it would be impossible for her to use the vine, It was dangling too high over the beavers for her to reach. I'm not sure. Rye said, I swam in, through an underwater tunnel, the way the beavers do. It's not too bad. You could go that way. I don't swim very well. Oh, don't worry, I'll think of something. Neither mouse spoke. Instead, they looked at one another by the glow of the fireflies. Rye, Poppy said, suddenly becoming more brusque as she felt the urgency to lead. Have you tried chewing through those bars? They're too tough. Poppy tried for herself. She gave up quickly. I see what you mean. I'm afraid, Rye said. I really am going to stay here forever. I suppose I'll die of old age and regret. Rye? What? Please, I know the bars are tough, but keep chewing on them. I'll find a way back to your family nest. They need to know that you're all right. And maybe, if I get a longer vine, one that reaches the ground, we could get you out that way. Do you think so? Maybe. She started to back away. Rye, clinging to the twig bars, called, Poppy? What? I'm deeply moved that you came, but maybe you shouldn't return. I don't want you to risk your life for me. But Rye, she said, taking a few more steps toward the cage. What? I would like to dance again. Oh, Poppy, Rye cried out. So would I, with you. Shh, Poppy cautioned as she backed away. Unable to take her eyes from Rye, she stumbled over a sleeping beaver's tail. And I'll stop and then I'll come back and finish the rest.